In order to collect data for performing the quantitative analysis on better sales performance of Canon PowerShot SX420IS as in compared to Nikon B500, we will be using testing and segmentation. Based on the hypothesis that there are student demographics in Wisconsin that attend digital photography class and our goal to determine their preference toward Canon or Nikon, we will set up different parameters. For example, we may utilize different content or images to determine which channels are performing best in terms of camera sales. What we'll do is test different variations to see which ones lead to better conversion, value propositions, call to actions, and photo galleries. In terms of segmentation and testing. In order to implement the campaign for an agreed testing period and make an informed decision on future advertising campaigns, we select demographic overview in Google Analytics. Through demographic segmentation and by running Google Ads or Bing campaign, Google Analytics will let us know which demographic data to focus on. Should we direct our advertising more towards a female or a male audience? In our research, we direct our advertising, we will utilize the data to set up focused campaigns and on benefits and emotional advantages of Canon versus Nikon. We'll be using more images of flowers or sports cars to attract our desired audience. Behavioral segmentation is reflected in how much do students spend on a particular page and which content they enjoy most. In our cases, through our commerce page as well as our social media page, we will utilize analytics to determine the highest amount of views and session duration. By comparing different ratios from 30 to 60 seconds, for example, we can see a visual of how each segment performed in comparison to the other. In our research, what we can do is to create links from blog posts with content such as 10 ways to utilize your digital camera to sell clothing online, or if we want to address a male audience, 5 best ways to capture sports photography. When talking about campaign segmentation, we want to look at display advertising, paid or organic. The metrics that we will then utilize in conversion rate and user engagements. By selecting a handful of keywords in our social media and blog posts, we'll determine which keywords perform better. For example, we can set up a goal the number of conversions reached on the commerce page that are directed from Google search. Here is when advertising copy and the focus on SEO becomes an important mark of the number of sales of either Canon PowerShot SX420IS or Nikon B500. Through social media segmentation on several social media platforms, we'll view each type of user interaction and media. It comes from a separate, and we'll realize that it comes from a separate segment. We will set up an overview segment of all social media visits and the number of acquisitions based on the channels that acted as the main drivers. From a social perspective, we will utilize the landing pages and its content as a way to influence the students of digital photography class to purchase the Canon or Nikon cameras. New users, on the other hand, haven't yet found this value. And if teams know that all returning users watched one particular video on camera use, then they can incorporate that video in the welcoming journey to help new users get hooked. By analyzing users at the end of the day that have passed a certain conversion point and bounce rate, teams can isolate the characteristic their most prized users share and use that information to convert more of them. And this is how we would utilize segmentation and testing in determining the best audience and the best results for our quantitative analysis.